hear from you, Mheshimiwa. What do you draw from the trend, especially the latest escalating cases? What should we read from this so that it can inform how we respond better as a country?
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say that the case of cattle rustling and insecurity has a long history in this country. It did not begin yesterday. It began a long time. Personally, I'm a victim of that we were displaced or moved away from our ancestral land by Turkana. And then we went to other places. And we went to a place where people were even, children were even going to school. I went to school, luckily, because of that. And I want to say that as far back as, I think, 1960s, 1970s, this thing was there. The only thing, the only difference now that is that it is now graduating into something else, that the commercial aspect of cattle rustling and banditry is coming in. It was not like that in the past. It was something almost cultural, and communities would raid each other and then move back. But these days, it has evolved. So I want to say we must get facts clear. Now, within pastoral communities that are neighbors, this thing has been going on. And sometimes people get into conflict because of the scramble for resources, water, pasture, and something like that. That is what gets people into conflict in many instances. In many instances. Like, you'll have the right of reply. Yeah, you will have the right of reply. I may not say much. I know certain parts of this country have been marginalized. And one of the reasons why people still engage in this activity is because of that marginalization. Like, for example, Tiati. You were talking about Tiati. Tiati was marginalized for a long time. And government should make a deliberate effort to take development to Tiati deliberately and bring Tiati as close as possible to the rest of this country in terms of opening up roads, putting up schools, and, you know, a place that has been neglected for many years feels that they are not even part of this country. You know, there are people in this country that don't even know some of the things we are talking about. And they are in Kenya. So we need to be alive to the realities of what part of this country is like. Now, I come from West Pokot, particularly Sigor constituency. Now, we border Marakwet East, we border Tiati, Turkana East, Turkana South.
So you border Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Turkana counties?
Yes. Now, my bordering with Tiati is the Pokot of Tiati. So we have no conflict with them. But lately we have had conflict with the Marakwet, from Marakwet East. But for a long time we've not had that conflict. So what has motivated that? Sometimes a difference between individual members of communities graduate into a community difference, a community problem.
Okay. Now, just when you mentioned, because you have highlighted two very important issues, commercialization bit of it, which you said is intensifying the problem, and the issue of marginalization. You are a lawmaker who was a kitty for education, security, and development. I wonder, when you talk about marginalization in Tiati, which is in Baringo County,
yes.
Baringo produced the longest serving president in the history of the Republic of Kenya,
yes.
Teacher Moy. There is an MP who was a CDF kitty for security, development, and education. You are an MP. In the case of, why do you think then there has been a lacking commitment? And in your case, in the foreseeable future, to not talk about marginalization, what would you do with that kitty for development, education, and security to forestall such a debate in the foreseeable future?
Thank you very much. I want to say that we have a CDF kitty, each member of parliament has. And for the time that CDF has been there, the members of parliament have tried to put infrastructure, infrastructure in terms of schools. Because currently now, you know, CDF can only do schools and put maybe some security installations in those places. Now, the CDF kitty is a small kitty. We need a deliberate effort by government to open up that place. Much of that place is not accessible by road, right? And we don't have schools, we don't have water. So I want to suggest, if government is serious, particularly for Tiati, because even when we had the former president, the second president of this republic, it is one reason why that place got marginalized. You know, Atamag Road was just done and to the border of Tiati, and the rest of the other Baringo part. And it was left like that. So that place was left. So somebody needs to come out and do a deliberate effort to ensure that that place is opened up. I was even going to suggest, if Brigadier is serious here and can give advice, we can deploy KDF, the NYS, to go and do development to open up that place. You know, when people see government presence in areas, they also know we have a government. But when they don't see them, they are just on their own.